You are listening to Beyond the Wheel, a podcast about the people and ideas that drive the RV community forward.
Looking to get out there and stay out there? Battleborn Batteries lithium-ion batteries are here to power your RV, marine, and off-grid adventures. Designed as an easy drop-in replacement for traditional lead-acid batteries, these reliable solutions have 2 to 3 times the power, charge 5 times faster, are a fifth of the weight, and last 10 times longer. Offered in a variety of models in unique sizes and shapes, ranging from 50 amp hour to a robust 270 amp hour, and backed by a 10-year warranty. Battleborn batteries are built to fit your needs and power your experiences. On the road, on the water, and off the grid, reliable power is here. Check them out at battlebornbatteries.com.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to Beyond the Wheel podcast. Today, Sean and I are sitting down to discuss everything you need for your first successful RV trip. Now, you just heard me say that, and you think to yourself, well, I've already taken my first RV trip. I don't need to listen, but I'm sure Sean and I will be discussing things that are going to be a surprise for maybe even the seasoned RVers. So stay tuned and listen to today's episode here on Beyond the Wheel podcast. Hey, Sean, how are you doing today?
Hey, Kenny, I'm doing well. Ready to talk about this. This is it seems such an easy topic, but actually it's quite a difficult one.
Yeah. Sitting down and coming up with a list, you don't realize just maybe some things that you just kind of take for granted for us anyway, because we have been RVing for a long time. But I'm sure that we are going to suggest things that maybe even seasoned RVers probably don't carry with them or never even thought to carry with them, but maybe we'll have a couple aha moments for you out there.
Yeah, and even like now that we don't full time and we're in a place that gets cold, when we go to take our RV out for the first time in the spring, we always forget stuff that we should have brought. So it's always good to cover this topic.
Yeah, and I think what we'll do also for anybody listening, we'll put these all in the show note, and we'll also add like a little list so that you can copy and paste this list, and then you can check off the things that you do want or don't want and kind of use this as your beginner's list as well.
So what's the first area you want to get into, Kenny?
So I was thinking about this kind of as, I arrive at a campground and the first thing I usually set up is water. I've always been taught to do your fresh water first before you touch sewer or anything like that. So I was going to start with like water and sanitation. I think it's a must for everybody who have a water filter, a water regulator. Those two things are really going to do two things. They're going to protect your RV and they're also going to protect yourself. So the water regulator is going to protect your filter. It's also going to protect all the plumbing inside your RV. And then the water filter, well, that's going to protect you. That's going to keep all these minerals and deposits that shouldn't be going through the system. Actually, that's protecting your RV plumbing as well, but also us. If you're going to be drinking with it, if you're washing with it, maybe you're filling up your dog bowl with it, you definitely want to have some type of water filter. I would recommend, you'd be surprised, go to a campground and turn on the water faucet. You'd be surprised how often that water comes out kind of chalky or even like a muddy color for the first few seconds before it cleans out. Because, that pipe might have been sitting for a little bit and it builds up a lot of sediment and that could easily be going into your RV and into your bodies.
Yeah, and I guess the other piece of that, Kenny, is especially if you're a new RVer, you may not know that there's such a thing as a freshwater drinking hose versus like a regular garden hose. So you want to make sure that you have the right hose that is for drinking from, not like when we were a kid and we used to just put our mouth up to the hose, probably getting all those toxins, whatever they're called now, PFAS or PFOS chemicals in us. They actually make hoses specifically for drinking water.
Now, on the other side of things, as things are coming out of your RV, of course, you're going to need a sewer hose, but I also recommend bringing a sewer hose extension. Sabrina and I travel with about 30 feet of sewer hose. So we travel with the same amount of length that our RV is. And you'd be surprised as how often we need that extra sewer hose because every campground is going to be different. Sometimes they place the sewer midway in the site, or sometimes they place it all the way in the back. We've had some that are always up front. So we definitely recommend a sewer hose extension, and we recommend some type of sanitation gloves. You can use either the disposable ones where they're like a latex, or your dishing gloves that are more of a permanent rubber style, and then you can just clean them and then reuse them if you don't like the idea of throwing away the gloves each time.
Yeah, one thing I did as sort of a modification to our RV, right next to our water bay on the inside of the RV, I got a you see them in the doctor's office, the little disposable glove holders, and so then you can just slide a new box in there and just pull them out, and it's always right next to the water bay, so it's convenient to have it right there.
I like that idea a lot, Sean. I've been talking about doing that for a long time, and I haven't. I like that idea, and I've thought about doing even a little soap dispenser on the door as well. Again, all talk over here. I have not done either one of them, but I always thought having like a little, and it would be even better if you just put your hand under it and it automatically dispenses like you do
Yeah.
in the bathrooms nowadays. But yeah, I've always thought that would be a great location. Yeah, I'd like the glove idea though. I'm going to do that. I will definitely do the glove one at least.
And you can get them on Amazon super cheap, just a few bucks for one of those plastic holders.
And then did you glue it or did you use like command tape?
I screwed it in.
Oh, you screwed it in. It's like
Yeah.
you were serious about your
Yeah.
location. You knew that's
Yeah.
where you wanted it. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not coming off.
Okay.
I worry about like the glue or command strips because it gets so hot in those
Oh, that's true.
storage things. So yeah, I just screwed it in.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea.
And I guess while you're setting up, a couple other things you need to think about as far as power goes is make sure you have an adapter that goes from 50 to 30 if you have
Mhm.
a 50 amp coach, or if you have a 30 amp coach, I guess, because there may only be a 50 amp power pedestal where you go and you're going to have to drop it down
Yeah.
if you only have a 30 amp hose or a power cord.
Yeah, I have that on my list as well. Just different step down or step up power adapters because, like Sean said, you just really a lot of times you don't know at these campgrounds what you're actually booking. Sometimes you get into a site, you might book it last minute. And you just got to take whatever they have. To have the availability to either step up or step down is very important. We also recommend, Sean and I both recommend a surge protector. I am still very surprised when I'm at a campground and I don't see surge protectors. I know they can be pricey, but they are still cheaper than a brand new microwave or air conditioner unit, especially when you factor in labor and all that. So a surge protector is going to stop a surge from going into your RV and blowing up your high dollar appliances. I think everybody should have a surge protector. I know they can cost, I guess they're now over $100, but they are well worth it. A lot of the surge protectors out there will also test polarity for you. So when you do plug in, it's right on a meter. I think Sean, you have even more. Yours goes even a little further. Mine only tells me, if if my ground, positive, and neutral is connected properly. But I feel like yours does a little bit more.
No, I think it does that. And it also
Okay.
will it keeps it within a range. So like
Mm.
if it goes too high or too low, it'll automatically shut it off. It'll shut off the power. Even if it's a consistent power, like let's say it's supposed to be at 120, but it's at like 125,
Mm.
it won't allow the RV to it won't allow the power to the RV.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
I think that's normal. Yeah, I don't
I
think
don't
it
know.
does anything fancy.
I don't know if mine does that. I mean, I guess there is some type of built-in tolerance to it, but I'm not sure if it's like really regulating like that or if it's looking for like a real large spike. I better take a better look at mine, I guess. And
Yeah,
then
we learned the hard way because we actually had a power surge without a surge protector and
Mm.
fried some parts of our RV, and it was very expensive to fix. So, yeah, learned the hard way.
Yeah. And I know a lot of newer RVs now come with like a built-in surge protector right into the RV itself. I still personally recommend the surge protector, an additional one outside, because again, it's going to be cheaper than replacing the surge protector that's inside that RV. So you can never have too much protection. I also recommend, just like I do with the sewer hose extensions, as a power cord extension. As often that, depending on your rig, like ours is a hardwired cord. We don't plug ours in. So it's just a fixed cord. So we carry an additional cord to plug into that one to extend it. Otherwise, we would only have about 20 feet to work with. And sometimes you wouldn't think it would be the case, but sometimes 20 feet is not enough to reach the power, depending on where they place the pedestal.
I also carry two power cords, and not only as one for an extension, but also just in case one goes bad.
Now, Sean, are you hardwired or does
No.
your cord plug in? You plug your
Yeah,
cord into the
plug in.
RV plus into the post.
Right.
Yeah, I think I like that idea. Ours is hardwired. Not that I've ever had an issue with it, but I think, like you said, if your cord would ever go bad, it's probably easy to replace too. Mine, you would have to actually rewire the cord back into the RV again.
Which I helped somebody do at we were at a rally, and somebody's power cord went bad, and it was on the spool inside.
Yeah.
And we had to like take one of the walls off to get to one of the inner walls off to get to the power cord to change it.
Okay. You just reminded me of a tip when setting up your RV. This probably is not a popular tip because I don't see it too often. I believe it's a good practice if your power cord is on a spool, like Sean was just talking about, to unspool the power cord all the way and then plug in. Some people might not notice this, but your power cords actually get hot throughout the day of running ACs and things like that. By having your power cord up on that spool, building up all that heat, I think over time it can cause damage to your cord or components. I mean, there's been times that Sabrina and I have been camping in the wintertime where it snows and we only have 30 amp and we got our 30 amp cord all spooled out along the yard and plugged in. The next morning, we wake up, we go outside and the snow is all melted around our power cord from the post to the RV is completely melted anywhere that power cord is touched. So they definitely get warm. So just keep in mind that you might want to be unspooling that power cord when you're using it.
And then I guess the other thing, speaking of setup, well, a couple things. One is if you have an RV that doesn't have leveling jacks, you want to have leveling blocks. Make sure you have some of those. And then also, no matter if you have leveling jacks or not, you want to have wheel chocks, something to block the wheels to keep it from moving. And then I always try not to get to a place after dark, but sometimes it's inevitable. So you want to make sure you have a flashlight or a headlamp. I have a headlamp, which makes it easy because then you have both your hands still.
Yeah, I've been a big fan of the headlamp. I like the headlamp idea. Some of these headlamps, too, can be very useful on the side of the road issues because a lot of them are now coming with a rear lamp as well that will flash. So I really like the headlamp idea. I think they're, like Sean said, too, they're freeing up a hand, which is very important. And then I believe they're just a little safer for when you're on the side of the road. So I have like this little section of tools and maintenance. So I got the leveling blocks and the chalk blocks and everything. I got that headlamp. Everybody's going to be a little different on what they want to carry. I probably carry more than I need to because I've never had to use my impact. I take that back. I did, but it wasn't for myself. I used my impact wrench to help somebody else with an exhaust issue. I've also used the Sawzall to help somebody else with the same thing, exhaust issue. But I carry duct tape. Zip ties are so helpful. I used to work with somebody, his t-shirt used to say, I'm a zip tie mechanic. And I used to love that t-shirt because I kind of related to that. I was like, man, there's nothing a zip tie and duct tape can't fix. I also carry a shovel. And the shovel has helped Sabrina and I out in a few situations, especially dry camping and boondocking. You park in sand or loose dirt or in mud, and maybe it rains, it dries, it rains, it dries, and your RV sinks a little bit. We have used a shovel not only to help ourselves out, we've used shovels to help other people out too. And also, the shovel can be very useful in a dry camping spot where you're doing a campfire and it's time to go to bed for the night. You can just use that shovel to help put out that fire instead of using like 2 gallons of water and trying to put it out that way. So I've found a shovel to be a very, very helpful, useful tool. My other tool that I used so much the first year of camping was our owner's manual. Our owner's manual got us out of so many, I guess, phone calls It was our first line of defense when we were just starting out, learning how to RV, knowing how our camper worked. I mean, we did a lot of research and we still found ourselves in that owner's manual all the time. She told us, it has wiring diagrams. It showed us where our fuses were. It was so helpful. It also gave you, how to use your we have like a auto leveling system. It told us how to reset it. It told us, troubleshooting skills all inside this owner's manual. I don't know if that's the norm for all owner's manual, but that's how it was in our Winnebago. And man, I don't carry the owner's manual anymore because I feel like I know our RV like the back of my hand now. But that first year, that owner's manual was a lifesaver for us.
Yeah, we carry ours still.
You still have yours. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mentioned campfire. I guess, are you ready to move on to like campfire and outdoor gear, Sean?
Yeah.
Okay. This is probably what like camping is all about, being outside, enjoying a campfire, bringing out your chairs. One thing that I just started to use is a folding table. I don't know how I made it all these years of camping without a folding table, but it's nice to be able to bring out the chairs. And I'm talking about a considerable folding table where we can put our air fryer on and actually like do a variety of different types of cooking instead of just using the grill. So now we got our air fryer that we can put on a table, puzzles, play games. I don't know how we went all these years without a folding table in our RV. Do you use one?
No, I don't carry a folding table.
You might like it. I'm not recommend you trying a folding table, Sean.
Okay, I'll try it. I'll try it.
And then, of course, like you want to bring a portable grill. You also want to bring, this was big for Sabrina and I, is bug spray and sunscreen. I know not everybody likes sunscreen. I didn't realize this until last year that sunscreen is now, maybe Sean, you already know that sunscreen is kind of a hot topic right now. Hot topic is purposely punned that way, that not everybody feels comfortable using sunscreen because of the chemicals that are in it. I still believe that the sunscreen is protecting me more from the sun and skin cancer. I'm hoping anyway. Have you heard this, Sean, this controversy of using sunscreen?
No, I haven't. But I would say it's probably the chemicals in there are less harmful than chemotherapy, probably.
That's what I'm going by. Yeah, that's my hope too. We would love to hear from you, though. Do you use sunscreen? Do you not use sunscreen? Do you have friends or family that are maybe, I don't know, anti-sunscreen would be the word for it, but yeah, this is kind of a new topic for me. But I'm with Sean on this. I think the chemicals in the sunscreen are less harmful than chemo or the radiation from the actual sun itself. And I also believe that there are different, I guess you could say, quality sunscreens out there that probably are not using as harmful chemicals to protect you from that sun.
Yeah.
And
I mean, just lotion has a lot of chemicals in it. So
yeah, just to keep you from drying out and everything.
yeah.
Yeah,
Interesting.
lip balm. Yeah, that's something that I think it's kind of new to me anyway. I guess very new now to you.
Yeah.
And then of course my bikes. I gotta have my bike with me. I really enjoy the e-bike. I'll even throw out e-bike in there.
So your thing, Kenny, was the outdoor table. And mine that we got a few years ago that I never used to like seeing them, but with Toby, our dog, it's been very good to have, and that is one of those outdoor mats that unfold. It keeps him from tracking dirt and stuff inside. He can get it off his paws on the mat.
Okay.
So we have that, and I really like that. Some places won't let you put them down, but most places will.
Really, campgrounds are banning an outdoor mat?
Yeah, some places they won't let you put it down.
Is it because it damages the grass if you're there for a long
Grass.
period of time? It
Yeah.
like yellows the grass and it's not getting that sunscreen. It's almost like putting sunscreen on the grass.
And then a nice to have, but definitely not a necessity for first timers, but something that I think we both enjoy is a propane fire pit.
Yeah.
Better than a regular fire.
I think it's the way to go. No smoke. I know it's an extra that you have to carry with you, but it is so worth it.
Yeah. But again, nice to have, not a necessity.
It's very nice to have. And the nice thing about it isn't so much getting a fire started or anything like that. I like it for what I was talking about with the shovel. When you're done for the night and you want to turn in, you just turn it off. You're
Yeah.
not worried about embers still glowing later on. Like the moment you turn it off, it's pretty much safe to leave alone. It's not doing anything anymore. It's
Yeah.
I really like it. Yeah, I like
Yeah.
having a portable fire. And you know what? They sell them now in all different sizes. I feel like when we got ours, we were kind of limited to the size, but you can get some now that are, I would almost call pocket size, but still put out a lot of heat. So they've come a long way, and there's a lot of choices out there. Rocks, no rocks. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely look into getting some type of portable fire pit.
What else you got, Kenny?
I have cooking and kitchen supplies, and this is kind of an obvious thing, so I don't have really a long list, but I did want to mention that other than your standard stuff, kitchen utensils and your cups, mugs, plates, and all that stuff, is to bring a cutting board with you. I find a cutting board very useful for not just like your typical things, but even your vegetables, cutting up vegetables and carrots. I like to make a lot of soups and things like that, even when I'm on the road. So having a cutting board, something I can wipe up and then protect my actual RV countertop, I think is very important.
Another thing I would add, particularly if you're a coffee drinker, is either a small coffee maker or a kettle. I think you carry like an electric kettle.
I have a folding electric kettle that I love. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's the best. Yep. I love that
And then
kettle.
I carry a small Keurig coffee maker in my RV, and people can get quite grouchy if you forget it. So,
Is your Keurig a single or is it a pot?
single.
Single. Okay. I wasn't sure because I feel like you have a lot of room, just like we have a lot of room. So you can you would have space if you wanted to do a Keurig pot maker.
Yeah. And then I would also say, if you can, bring dishes and cookware that are collapsible, like your kettle's foldable, or instead of having a normal dish or like strainer for like when you make pasta and stuff, they make the collapsible ones, things like that save space.
Yeah. We just replaced our collapsible strainer. It lasted like 7 years. We just replaced it this year or early last year, and we just replaced it with the identical one because it lasted so long. But yeah, we like that because the way our sink is set up, collapsible is important to us because when our slide comes in, it comes over one of our two sinks. So we're able to pop it out, collapse it, sit it up on the shelf, and out of the way. Yeah, we like the collapsible stuff. We have collapsible bowls and cups. So yeah, collapsible is definitely the way to go I think for RVing. Then I got roadside and emergency. So I think it's important to carry roadside assistance, but it's also important to know where that paperwork is, either digital or an actual physical form. But just know where your roadside assistance information is, have it ready in case you need it. Same with your insurance and registration. You want to have all that paperwork kind of not ready to go, but at least know where it is so that if you do run into a situation and you're scrambling and you're panicked, that's at least one thing you don't have to worry about.
Yeah, and one thing we carry, that even though we have GPS and we have our phones and we have we have an RV GPS, we also have the built-in GPS, I still carry a paper atlas with me just in case. You never know when the science fiction is going to happen and GPS is going to get taken out and stuff. So I always carry an atlas with me.
It would do me no good, Sean. I wouldn't even know what to do with it. I would look at that and it might well be written in a different language to me because I remember back in the day before GPS and everything, I'd be lost all the time. I was so terrible with maps. I don't know if anybody's listening old enough to remember like MapQuest, where you would print all your directions on a map. And I would have these stacks of paper in my driver's seat on a long trip. And I'd look at them and be like, I'm not sure if I'm going the right way or not, even with having the information. So maybe to go along with that, maybe do a quick YouTube search on how to use an atlas, because I'm sure there's a method to using an atlas, using the index and understanding like where you are and your heading and everything. That's probably something I should do.
Yeah, we always have one. I don't think I've ever had to use it, but I always keep one just in case.
Sean, being retired military, did you have to take a class on maps in some form, like paper maps?
Yeah, yeah. Well, we had to do land navigation where you had to
Uh,
navigate using a map and compass.
so you actually have training on paper
Yeah,
maps.
yeah.
Okay. See, that's what I need. I need some training in paper maps. Maps.
Surprisingly, Julie was in the military. She never had to learn that. So I
Huh.
actually taught her how to read maps with a map and compass.
Learn something new all the time. I would have just thought that was given that everybody in the military went through some type of paper map program.
No, probably very rare these days with GPS.
I also have a first aid kit written down under that roadside in an emergency. I think first aid kit is really important. And kind of like the map situation, you should probably watch a YouTube video on your first aid kit, whatever you pack it with, how to use the burn creams, how to wrap. Like that's something still that I would say not really all that great. Like I don't think I would be able to make what do they call that, Sean? Like a makeshift type of splint. I don't think I could wrap somebody's wrist to a point where it would kind of limit their rotation or anything like that. So even I'm kind of guilty of this. I should probably do some type of, at minimum, some type of first aid kit, how to Google it or YouTube it. I should probably even go for a CPR class.
Yeah, you never know when
You
you're going
never
to
know.
need it.
Sabrina knows it, and I always think that I'm the one that's going to get hurt because she's like more in a little bubble where I'm a little bit more adventurous, I would say. But I should learn CPR. I should even look up first aid and be a little bit more proficient. I know you're already pretty proficient on first aid.
Yeah, I'm pretty comfortable with it.
CPR,
Yep.
splint. Could you make a splint?
Yes.
Saying I think I could, but I'm only basing it off of what I've seen in movies. We also carry, and I think these are getting more popular as cones. We carry a couple little sets of cones. When we're at a campsite, we actually put the cones around our Starlink so nobody drives over it. But we also have them in case of some type of roadside emergency that we can place them out. Just like I said, with the headlamp being kind of safe. But if you were pulled over at dusk or night, even you'd want some type of cone that's reflective. I should add reflectiveness to the cone also.
Yeah, and they sell those kits, like even at Walmart, I think they sell those
Hmm.
roadside kits with the reflective triangles and a
Yep.
couple of cones. So pretty easy to get them.
Yeah, and the last thing is some type of battery booster pack. I carry a portable little battery booster that's good for our car or for the RV. You just never know when a battery is going to die out on you. So it's good to have. I've had to jump our car a bunch of times.
When we were at Disney last year, Julie and I had to use that battery booster because the outlets in the RV we were renting died. So we actually used that for power.
That's right. I remember that now.
Yeah. So it came in handy.
Dual purpose. Sean and I are all about dual purpose things. So I have clothing and protection next. And I guess I could have put the sunscreen down here in this list because I have like things like rain gear, laundry bags, and detergent. But the rain gear, it's tough to predict the weather. So you never know. I'm packing for a trip right now. I'm going out to California and there's like a 20% chance of rain. And I'm looking at that, be like, oh, that's easily 60%. I'm bringing my rain gear, umbrella, a hoodie. I just want to be prepared because you just never know what the weather's going to bring. And as far as clothing goes, I use a laundry bag everywhere. I like the bag better than containers and stuff like that. And I know they have pop-ups and stuff like that. But what I like about the bag is when I'm doing my wash, it's like a cloth bag and I can throw the bag in the wash too so that the bag is getting cleaned and sanitized as well.
Also on my list for clothing, I call it personal gear, but I always bring a hat
Hmm.
and sunglasses.
Yeah, I don't leave the house without a hat. Um, my sunglasses, I'm still working on. I'm still waiting for sunglasses from the eye doctor. I'm trying to get some prescription ones because I do wear glasses, but my glasses do tint in the sun, but it's not the same. It really doesn't protect you. I don't feel as if it protects me the same way. So I really do want to I do want to get some sunglasses back again into my life. And then also speaking of like weather, I have entertainment and memories as a category. Again, you don't really know what the weather's going to be. So I enjoy board games, cards. I think just kind of plan for a rainy day. You don't want your first trip out to be ruined because of the weather and that you go out and you didn't get to do anything at all. Either plan to stay inside the RV and have some games ready, or just know the area that you're going to pretty well and plan for a rainy day and say, all right, well, we got all these outdoor park and amusement things to do outside, but if it rains, here's a couple museums that we can go into and check out just in case the weather doesn't go your way.
I have a couple things on my list. One is, for us anyway, a portable Wi-Fi hotspot, and
Oh
whether
yeah, good.
that's your phone acting as a hotspot or if you have something separate. Campgrounds are notorious for not having fantastic Wi-Fi, especially if they're crowded. So we always try and have an alternate with us. And then if you're boondocking, of course, you want to have something. Julie and I read a lot, so we always bring an e-reader. We prefer the e-reader when we're camping because it's small and portable, and also you can read in the dark or in the light. It
Oh, nice.
has a screen that's visible. So I always carry a notebook and a pen because, like, if I want to remember something that we see, or if I see something that I want to look up later, I always carry a notebook and a pen with me. Not just when we're camping all the time. I have a notebook and a pen with me.
Yeah.
So those are things I always carry.
I have written down like a notebook, journal, and then camera too. I really enjoy taking photos. I think these are just great ways to remember your trip after it's all over. I didn't know that about you though, Sean, that you always have a notebook with you.
Yeah, always have a notebook. And then, yeah, I guess one thing we've mentioned, a few electronics. Don't forget the chargers.
Yeah. Yeah. And especially nowadays, I don't know what's going on, but it seems like everything has its own plug. We don't have a standardized type of plug. So it could be a USB, it could be USB-C. Cameras are its own type of plug, and GPS is its own type of plug. So yeah, a lot of electronics equals a lot of different plugs. I also wrote down for entertainment, and I think I don't know what the word would be. I don't use it as much as I think I would, but I always bring binoculars with me on a trip. And I always forget that I have them. And then like a moment has passed and I said to Sabrina, I was like, oh, I could have gone inside the Jeep, or I could have gone in the RV and brought out the binoculars, and we would have had a better view of this. And it's always at the end of the day that I remember that I even have them. I don't know, but they made it onto my list as well. I'm like, well, I remember to put them on my list. Do you feel like you remember your binoculars, that you do have them and that you do use them?
Well, since we tow with our truck, I keep the binoculars in the truck usually. So then
Oh, so you always
they're
have them.
always, yeah, they're always with me.
Maybe what I need to do is get a second set, one for the Jeep and one for the RV, so that I always, and the binoculars that I have, they were on Amazon. They're nothing, I wouldn't say they're anything crazy. They're probably under $30, but it would just give me that different perspective or that different view of wildlife while we're at a national park, or if I'm 4x4 or anything. It's just surprising me how often I forget that I have them.
Yeah, I like binoculars when we're out camping.
Yeah, I should take them more like, and the ones I have are small. I could easily put them around my belt loop or something like that, and even go for hikes and stuff like that with Bell. Like I have no excuse for not being more aware and using these binoculars more. Nothing says adventure like binoculars. I also have on my list waste management, and I wrote variety of trash bags. So we do have a few different size trash bags because what we use out in the kitchen area is different than what we use in the bathroom. But we also carry just a couple, just like a handful of large trash bags. If something were to happen, some type of mess, maybe Belle gets sick on the bed or something like that, we have a big bag that we can put our bedspread like into that bag. Also, I carry something called a trasharoo. That's on the back of my Jeep. And that's for like if I'm off-roading or if we're at a park or even boondocking. I like the trasharoo because it always gives me a place to put Belle's bags. After we pick up her business, I can always carry everything out with me. The trasharoo is the size of a very large trash bag, so it can fit a large trash bag. And I've been known to even pick up other people's trash and and take it away, which is also useful for the large trash bags. So I think just a variety of trash bags, maybe 3 different sizes, small, medium, and then a large. And your large bag, I would recommend being like a hefty bag or something kind of resilient that you can use.
Yeah, those are good. Those are good items. I want to go over quickly just some items that are often forgotten. One is matches or a lighter, especially if you want to have a campfire. Even with a propane fire pit, not all of them have those automatic ignitions. Or if you want to use a grill, make sure you have matches and a lighter, and typically one of those longer lighters
Yes.
are a little bit safer. Trash bags, like Kenny just said, people often forget trash bags and then they're scrambling when they're out camping. Another one is extension cords. You never know when you're going to need an extension cord. Just make sure it's the right extension cord for the job. So you don't want to use a real small, low gauge extension cord for something that uses a lot of power. So make sure you have an appropriate extension cord, but we always carry at least one extension cord with us just in case. Cleaning supplies, you want to make sure you have some cleaning supplies. We make messes, so we want to be able to clean, and we even carry a broom with us to sweep the RV, particularly like if we're at the beach or something, we're sweeping it quite a bit. And then the last thing is a spare set of RV keys. And don't keep them in your RV, or keep them somewhere that you can get to them at least. Yeah.
Yeah, that's smart. And I'm surprised that I did not put broom down, because broom is something that we use on every single trip. I don't know what it is about the RV, but we just track a lot of sand, dirt, all that. And it's all gritty onto our floor. We're always sweeping out our RV. So I'm surprised I forgot a broom. Yeah. Broom is definitely like a very important thing to bring on your trip. And you mentioned cleaning supplies too. One of the cleaning supplies that we like is like the Clorox wipes. We find them to be pretty nifty, pretty easy to use to kind of sanitize our tabletops, our countertops, everything, and they don't take up a lot of space or anything like that. And it's kind of like an all-in-one type of, cleaner, everything, the cloth, everything, all in one. So very easy to even like throw into the Jeep and carry out on a drive with the Jeep too.
Yeah, they're good too because you can use them pretty much on everything.
Yeah, I do. I don't know if
Yeah.
you're supposed to, but I do. I use them to clean my hands sometimes.
Then I just have some quick tips to avoid overpacking. One thing is, if you're going to a campground or to like an established place, most places have laundry. So you don't have to pack for every day. You can always pack lighter and do some laundry while you're there. I think we mentioned this earlier, Kenny, is opt for multi-use items. Like if it has a dual purpose, bring that over something that doesn't have a dual purpose. So like we said, like convertible cookware, lots of different things that have
Your power system, the fact that you can use outlets off of it and charge your car.
One thing that I don't necessarily do, but it is a tip that you hear a lot of people say is, and a lot of people do it actually too, is buy as you go. So like consumables like groceries and toiletries, you can buy when you get there instead of lugging that weight with you.
Yeah,
We don't do that. We always leave with a full fridge.
we do too. But it's
Yeah.
funny, you're so right, John. A lot of times, like we are currently packing now to go out to California for the Overland Expo show. And you would think that where we were going was in the middle of nowhere and that we'll never drive by someplace that has supplies. Like we are guilty of overpacking. Like I said, you would think that we were going out in the middle of nowhere. Not the fact that we're right on past 100 Walmarts on the way, several gas stations, a lot like we don't have to pack everything on day one for a 10-day trip.
Yeah, we do the same thing. And then don't forget RV friendly toilet paper.
Yeah. I had that on my list. How did that come off my list? Yeah. You want something that's going to break down easily in your holding tank. So yeah, that's definitely a big one.
Well, I think that's our list. Please let us know what we forgot. I'm sure we forgot some items that you think are important. And so get on the comments and leave us a note and let us know what we forgot, what's important to you, and what you think people that are new into camping should always bring with them on their early RV trips. As always, we'd like to thank our sponsor, the Battleborn Batteries. They are awesome at customer service. And even if you are not intending to buy something from them, if you have a question about their batteries or about something they sell, they're happy to talk to you about it and happy to help you out. So please go to battlebornbatteries.com and check out their site. Lots of good information on there. And they also have great products that we believe in, and we both use exclusively Battleborn batteries in our RVs, which makes it a great partnership because we really do appreciate the program. And then, like we always say, please leave us a review or a rating on the podcast platform you're listening to us on, whether that's Apple Podcasts or even YouTube. Please just give us a thumbs up or 5 stars or whatever the rating system is, and then leave a comment if you feel like we're worth a comment, I guess. That's it for this episode, and we'll be back in 2 weeks with another great episode. Talk to you later, everybody.
Looking to get out there and stay out there? Battleborn Batteries lithium-ion batteries are here to power your RV, marine, and off-grid adventures. Designed as an easy drop-in replacement for traditional lead-acid batteries, these reliable solutions have 2 to 3 times the power, charge 5 times faster, are a fifth of the weight, and last 10 times longer. Offered in a variety of models in unique sizes and shapes, ranging from 50 amp hour to a robust 270 amp hour. And backed by a 10-year warranty. Battleborn batteries are built to fit your needs and power your experiences. On the road, on the water, and off the grid, reliable power is here. Check them out at battlebornbatteries.com. With the complexity of all the systems in an RV, I always say it's not if something's going to break, but a matter of when is something going to break. That is why I think an extended warranty for RVs is so important. We first interviewed wholesale warranties back in 2019 and immediately became impressed with how their policies worked, such as you can take your RV to any licensed repair shop, including mobile repairs. They also have personalized service plans, making sure you are getting the right policy for your needs. And if you think your RV is too old for a policy, you might be surprised to hear that RVs up to 20 years old can still be approved for a policy. That is more age lenient than most RV parks I've stayed at. Go to wholesalewarranties.com/beyond the wheel or click the link down below in our show notes to get your free quote today.